Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. You know that one colleague who always has like 50 tabs open, answers emails in literally seconds, and somehow keeps the whole complex project running smoothly? Let's call her Sarah. Today, we're looking at a fascinating source that breaks down Sarah's specific, highly energetic working style. We've designed this as a super concise briefing for the busy professional. You know, the kind of person who is constantly juggling tasks, managing a million details, and just navigating the daily chaos of the modern workplace. So, if your brain constantly moves a mile a minute, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to this.
All right, here's our agenda. We're looking at 1. The analytical architect. 2. The multitasking mind. 3. Best field for success. 4. Beating mental fatigue. And 5. Career growth benefits. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Analytical Architect, Planetary Patterns and the Daily Grind. It all starts with this very specific astrological placement, Mercury in the 6th house. Think of it kind of like a recipe. First, you have Mercury, right? That's the planet of rapid-fire thinking, communication, analysis, and multitasking. Then you mix that with the 6th house, which is the domain that governs your work routines, practical challenges, and just your everyday responsibilities. So, when you drop the planet of rapid communication directly into the house of everyday workplace challenges, bam, you get this highly distinct, hyper-analytical profile. Just like our hypothetical colleague, Sarah.
Section 2. The multitasking mind. Life in the fast lane.
Now, this quote here captures a really fascinating reality. The mind rarely stays in one place. If you're this type of worker, you don't just endure a busy day. You're fundamentally wired to shift constantly between tasks, intricate details, and rapid-fire decisions. Going back to Sarah, her mind is anchored inside this constant activity and problem-solving. She isn't just doing one thing. Her focus is literally a relentless sequence of shifting gears.
While a lot of traditional advice praises those isolated, focused, deep work cycles for maximum productivity, the analytical architect actually thrives in dynamic environments. Their efficiency improves with frequent, rapid task switching. They use the chaos as fuel rather than getting derailed by it. Information-heavy environments, huge asset for them. Their work routines change constantly, which obviously demands serious adaptability, but honestly, that flexibility is exactly what keeps their minds so sharply engaged.
Section 3. Best fields for success, where the analytical mind thrives.
So where should all this incredible energy actually go? Well, it turns out environments centered on communication, analysis, writing, and coordination are the absolute perfect playgrounds. Because someone like Sarah relies so heavily on communication to resolve daily problems, placing her in a role where writing, speaking, or coordinating moving parts is the main objective, that naturally leads to top-tier performance. These specific jobs just completely amplify the success of a mind driven by practical intelligence.
Section 4. Beating mental fatigue. The cost of chaos.
Of course, there's a flip side. Handling way too many tasks without any structured planning leads to overthinking, severely slowed decision-making, and ultimately, severe mental fatigue. But there is a solution here, and it's careful, structured planning. Think of real-world workflow organization tools. For example, time blocking an overloaded email inbox into strict 30-minute intervals, or using Kanban boards to visually separate your doing pile from your done pile. By implementing careful systems like these, you can channel that restless mental activity and basically turn a potential weakness into exceptionally sharp organizational skills.
So how do you actually build those guardrails and improve? Well, it happens incrementally, through this really natural progression. First, constant exposure to small daily challenges sharpens your reflexes. You don't have to fix the whole world on day one. Then, by actively using communication, you resolve those workplace issues right as they pop up. And the long-term payoff here is huge. Over time, by facing these small daily tasks systematically, your mind becomes incredibly efficient at organizing massive, complex workloads.
Section 5. Career growth benefits. Turning activity into advantage.
Ultimately, over time, this fast-paced energy hardens into some truly incredible professional competencies. It develops strong practical intelligence, really knowing how to get things done in the real world. It builds sharp organizational habits in daily life and creates this massive long-term ability to handle multiple high-stakes responsibilities at the exact same time. Oh, and a quick tip for the managers listening: you can really support the analytical architects on your team by giving them complex, multi-layered problems to solve. Rigid, monotonous tasks will just completely stifle their natural workflow. Give them a puzzle to solve.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you managing your mental activity with careful planning, or are you letting the daily chaos manage you? Understanding this restless energy is really only half the battle. Applying structure is your true secret weapon. So take a look at your routines today and start building those guardrails. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.